Hi, I am creating this video for you all for the movement project, the Why Movement is Important project. I am actually sitting in the airport. I'm getting ready to fly to St. Louis, and I wanted to try to get this loaded before I took off, so this goes against everything. As far as creating videos, hopefully you'll be able to hear me okay and see, more importantly, how I navigate through Canvas and our working document so that you have a good understanding of this project and also know that we will have some time on Monday for you to ask any questions. I have opened up the 9:30 movement education section. Please know that if you're in the 12 o'clock course, the assignment should look the same to you. If you click on assignments, you will see that there is a why movement is important. It's already there for you. So if you want to click on that, and you come in here, and this link right here will take you to the Google document, which is basically saying everything that is right here. I know people operate in different ways and would rather look at things in a different format, so it's in Canvas and also on the Google document. You will be working in a group, and you have basically about 3 different components of this project. The first one, you and your group are going to write a paper together. So you will look at the requirements for the paper, talk about your strengths, weaknesses as far as writing, researching, coming up with an outline, and go from there. So this is going to be about a 5-page paper. You're going to really think about, and you will either be assigned to movement or mindfulness, and I will put that in your group. When you go into the Google Drive, I will update that so you know moving forward whether or not your group will be looking at mindfulness or movement. You're going to look for current research. If you look here, and I would suggest either using Google Scholar or your VCU library search engine. I don't want you to really look for any information that's older than 2015. If you come across something and you feel like it really makes a point or it would be very important to include, and it was, let's say it was published in 2000 or 2004, send it my way. I'll look at it and let you know if I think there's something more recent that would be a better fit for you. Okay? The contents or the requirements for your paper are in here, so you're going to do basically an overview of why either movement or mindfulness is important. You're going to think about and include right here in bold examples of other schools that have implemented a movement or mindfulness program or curriculum. Give us some of the statistical information about the success or hindrances of that implementation of that curriculum or that program, and then be sure to provide us with one interesting or other piece of information that you found was kind of a like, oh wow, I didn't think about this as you are doing your research. The second part of this is you're going to do your research paper, and then you're also going to author and illustrate a children's either active book or a mindfulness book for young people. I will provide you with some examples in this video and then show you some more again on Monday when we meet in class. But it is exactly what I'm telling you. You are going to, as a group, come up with a storyline. You're going to illustrate that. Now, illustrate meaning if you are very creative and artsy. You probably hear the airport information in the background. If you choose to illustrate your book, that's absolutely fine. The expectation is that you can use clip art that's free as far as copyright and include that in your book. So if you are to develop or thinking about doing a story about a couple animals and they're going on a hike in the woods, just do your Google search for clip art for different animals. Again, think about a storyline that would be good, brainstorm with your group, and if you look in here as far as the qualifications or requirements for the book that you will write, short story, about 15 pages or 15 slides. You would, of course, have a cover slide and maybe a concluding slide. When you read this, it shouldn't take probably more than about 5 minutes, 7 at the most. I've given you some helpful links down here that will give you some tips as far as writing children's books. If you do want to hand draw or paint or illustrate your book, you would take pictures and then insert that picture as the main part of that slide. So it's really up to you. You also, after you do the paper, you'll do your active book or mindfulness book. Then you will, as a group, you're going to do a presentation of your findings to us, and we get to participate in your book. The presentation will be an overall summary of your research paper. So you're going to include all the important information, some sample curriculum, schools that have implemented this program or curriculum, how it worked, provide us with some stats on why movement is important or why mindfulness. Basically, you're summarizing the main information in your paper. Lastly, I have a rubric here for you, but the other piece to your book that's a little bit different than in the past is one person, once you have your book written, is going to use the same platform that I'm using, Screencast-O-Matic, and you are going to do a reading or narration of the book that your group wrote. And that means that once you do this recording, you're going to upload it to YouTube and submit that link. All right, that's a lot of information. I really need each of you to take some time and read through these directions. Let me go back up a little bit over here in Canvas. One thing that you're going to need to do is look here under People. Click on Groups, and then you'll see Movement Project 1, Movement Project 2. If I click on that, that lets you know which students are in too. So make sure you find out what group you're in. There has been a group leader assigned to each group, and I would expect that person to be the lead communicator to initiate that first meeting. All right. If I am back here in assignments and I click on the why is movement or why movement is important, when I hover over this link right here, okay, it takes you right back to this document. So I wanted to make sure that you see that. Okay, that's what I talked about in Canvas. When you come here to the course outline, I'm just going to scroll down a little bit. You will want to, here we go, click on this link right here, Why Movement and Mindfulness is Important for All Students. You can see that the project, the due date has been pushed back a little bit to October 12th. When I get here, this puts me in the folder. Okay. When you know what group you're in, and the other thing I just realized is I'll do a group 1, 9:30, group 1, 12 o'clock, so that everybody in both classes, you have your own folders to submit. But this is where you're going to submit your paper, your presentation, your active book, and the link for the narration. Okay, so you will upload your group's paper, presentation, active book, and the link for the recording in your group's folder. One other thing that's really important is if you are in the 9:30 section, you come into this spreadsheet and enter your information, your group number, just use the drop-down arrow, your email, cell phone number, and preferred contact. That will allow each of the group members to come in here and look at this and see who else. Your other group members, you already have information in Canvas, but it will let you easily get emails and cell phone numbers. If you only want to provide your email address, that's fine, or your cell, but definitely know that you will need to be communicating with your group members. Okay. The other thing, so if you're in the 12 o'clock class, the spreadsheet looks exactly the same directions for that. Here is the paper again for you to look at. The directions again, I'm just going to scroll down, exactly the same. And here is a rubric that should guide you in your development of your project. You'll see that this is a 200-point assignment. You've got a lot to do here. Lot meaning not to add stress, but this is a comprehensive assignment. And working together and really having a conversation about your strengths versus who wants to contribute the most to what, but also understanding that you need to uphold your part of the bargain. So if you agree to do part 1, 2, and 3, then you need to do those things that you agreed to do. Okay? So again, this is a fairly quick, even though it's 10 minutes, overview of the project. But I wanted you to have this ahead of time so that you can come to class on Monday with any questions that you have. When you access this, or by the time you access this folder, this will look a little bit different because I'll have a 9:30 to 10:45 folder with groups 1 through 5, and then I'll have a folder for the 12:30 group and folders groups 1 through 5 so that you know exactly where to load your project submissions. And this is back into the assignments tab on Canvas. All right, and everything you need should be right here. If you have questions, jot them down. I will answer questions on Monday. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you soon.